Hello and welcome to Lorbeck Luxury Cars. I'm Harry and on this edition of the Friday Drive, I for this, our 2016 Porsche 911 Carrera 991 Series Gen 2. So being the Gen 2, what does that really mean? Well, obviously you end up with the facelift, the new interior, but most importantly, when you come to the back, you lift up this lid and underneath you see, well, pretty much nothing. But what's under all of this is a new 272 kilowatt, 3 litre twin turbo engine. So this is the newest, latest generation in Porsche engine, and that's connected up to the 7-speed double clutch gearbox in the middle, which was a carryover unit. So in essence, this is really an all-new 911. And stepping inside, even though it's a 991, the interior has got a lot of new features. I mean, this new screen here, if I start up the car and find the key, notice it's all new and touchscreen and does many things, including Bluetooth and media, and gives you all sorts of information on the car. And then you travel down a little bit further and you'll notice that this has got heated and cooled seats, which is a very expensive and very desirable option, one of these. And then coming further down, you've got the sport button, the suspension button, which controls all sort of the chassis bits and pieces and makes it harder and more aggressive on the road. But it's not just there where the fun ends with this car. Of course, you've got the Alcantara headlining and the very expensive glass sunroof, but we've got the optional leather trims. So it is just a symphony of beige and leather in here. So the question is, what's this car like to drive? Well, like always, there's only one way to find out. And I'm interested to know because I'm not driven a Gen 2 either. So I'm going to level with you here a little bit. When this particular Porsche first came in the showroom, I was speaking to Shreko about it and I was looking at it, I was going, who in their right mind would have put this many options on what is essentially a base model car? I mean, like I sort of mentioned, we've got heated and cooled seats, we've got the sunroof, we've got the optional 20-inch alloy wheels, the extended leather interior, well, the leather trims at the very least. Who would go and spend what would have been tens of thousands of dollars on options on a base model car? It just didn't make sense to me. And further to that, I was a bit skeptical jumping into it, honestly, about this twin turbo arrangement. I mean, I've always believed that bigger capacity is better. Turbocharging is really not the answer. It kills a lot of the soul and the character of the engine. But I have to tell you, I totally get why the person optioned up a base model, because it's enough. It really is. I mean, just driving, I was thinking, why would you spec a Carrera S? Because this thing just goes so well. You put your foot down and it just takes off. And the next thing that surprised me was how authentic that engine note was. It still sounds like a Porsche 911. It still sounds very much like a naturally aspirated one at that too. And I can't quite work out how Porsche have done it. It's pretty extraordinary. I mean, that engine, even though it's a little 3 litre, it gets this car to from 0 to 100 in just 4 and a bit seconds, 4.4 I think to be exact. And as I'm driving along, I mean, it's no secret that I've never been a huge Porsche fan. But as I'm driving along, I'm finding it very hard to criticise this car, honestly. It's unbelievably practical, it's comfortable, it goes over speed bumps unbelievably well, even these really big ones here in Albert Park, which were designed, I think, with only Hummers in mind. It's extraordinary what technology has done, where technology is taking us. I mean, there's all this uproar back when the 991 series first came out about its electric steering, but the fact is that hasn't taken away from the car. And then there's an uproar about getting rid of naturally aspirated altogether and replacing it with turbo. Hasn't ruined it at all. If anything, it's made it even better. It's just a really good car. And this one in particular, in this midnight blue with the cream leather interior, really looks apart. It's a lot nicer than that usual black, grey, sort of silvery colour combination, which we see all too often in Porsches and German cars for that matter. So if you're in the market for a Porsche 911 Gen 2, 991 series of course, you can't go past this car. It's got a full Porsche centre service history from new and up to date, and it's got every single option under the sun. There's nothing here that I can really want for. It's a phenomenally good car, and with the low Ks, it is exceptional value. So come down to Lorbeck Luxury Cars, and buy today. And as always, we'll see you next week. Woo!